the Lapsed Fan Wrestling Podcast, it's This American Work, one McMahon story told week by week. I'm Nasal Gas. Today on our program, Vincent Kennedy McMahon talking about a recent development in his company where he suspended one of his wrestlers, Titus O'Neil, for grabbing him by the arm as he made his exit following an emotional retirement speech and ceremony from one of his wrestlers. It set the internet and Twitter abuzz. Why he did it? Was it too harsh? Was it what it appeared to be, simple horseplay? Or was, in fact, there more going on there? Vince McMahon, thanks for joining us.
Nasal.
So, let's just start with this. Was Titus O'Neil simply messing around when he grabbed your arm in Seattle?
Well, I don't think that's a question that's relevant to me. I think you should ask Titus O'Neil that. He's the one who grabbed me. I didn't grab myself. Maybe you should ask him if he was horsing around. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
Fair enough. I mean, you didn't talk to him? That wasn't something you thought it important to ascertain?
Since that moment, I have been in no contact with Titus O'Neil personally.
Interesting. Well, why is that?
Well, if you must know, I have personal reason to believe that he might be part of the FBI.
Excuse me?
You see, Nasal, the thing is that what most people don't understand, that only people like me understand, is that I know that the government is always watching me. I know the government is trying to find things out about me, that it has deep interests into what I can offer. So I have reason to believe that Titus O'Neil has been an undercover agent working under my company for the last so many years.
Whoa. Well, let me just crumple up this list of questions that I had on that account. This is huge, Vince. I mean, well,
it's not huge. It's pretty much run-of-the-mill in my company.
Really? Say more. Tell us more about why would the FBI be after you? I don't understand.
The FBI has always been after me. They tried to bring me up on charges that I was distributing steroids to my professional wrestlers.
Were you?
They've always been on my ass.
Well, I suppose wrestling fans would be somewhat familiar with that.
Did you even see the way that he grabbed me? What makes me believe that he isn't part of the FBI trying to get me?
I gotta say, Vince, I mean, everyone thought it was just playful, that he was just horsing around. He's a funny guy.
When you know you have the FBI on you, always, do you think things are playful? Do you think my life is fun? Fuck you.
You didn't have the measure of him going into this. You didn't have, you didn't develop a trust with this guy. I mean, he's known as an ambassador in your company, dad of the year, does a lot of charity work.
He's an ambassador to the FBI.
Okay, let's lay these cards out on the table. We can't go much further here on that without saying this. What makes you think he has anything to do with the FBI? What's your basis?
We have never had a physical relationship. Me and Titus O'Neil. You understand? All of a sudden, after a retirement ceremony that had nothing to do with him, he reaches out and he touches me. He grabs me. He pulls me back. I don't know who this fucking Titus O'Neil is.
You don't know?
I'm not friends with him. I don't have coffee with him. I don't go to his house and have dinner with his family. Some stranger grabs me. Of course, I'm petrified because I think they got me again. I think they got me again.
Well, Vince, can you see why a lot of people would just have considered it a playful gesture and nothing that severe?
No. I don't believe anything is playful. And I don't know why people think anything's playful either. You should be horrified and skeptical if your child is playing with a ball.
Excuse me?
You don't know what that ball, what's inside that ball? You don't know who gave them that ball. You don't even know. And if you did give them that ball as their parent, you don't even know who made that ball. What's inside? What's it made of? Who's watching you?
All right, well, allow me to recenter here, okay? Because
Yeah.
you really threw me for a loop. Be honest.
Yeah.
Was part of your reaction that night in Seattle because you were so emotional? Clearly, you're emotional on the stage about Daniel
Yeah.
Bryan retiring from your company and from wrestling.
About Daniel Bryan retiring. Do you know how long I've been trying to get that fucker to retire? I have been pulling the wool over his fucking heads for years, trying to get him out of my goddamn business. Yeah, you're damn right I was emotional. I was fucking thrilled. Do you know how many times, how many fucking doctors I had to pay off to fucking tell him he couldn't wrestle anymore?
Well, reportedly, it was
Nearly,
there's just one doctor, right? Right, that was telling him no, just one, right?
right. Until now. Now they all say no. You know how much fucking money, how much I had to goddamn get into there. You don't understand the kind of business that I have to do to get the things that I want.
Why did you want him to retire?
Because he sought the main event. And I know better who belongs in the main event.
So you set out basically on a conspiracy to drive him out of your company, out of the business? I mean, is that what you're admitting to here? I don't want to. I don't want to make leaps, but
Let me tell you this: I don't admit to anything. I admit to nothing. Nothing.
well, what if anything did you say to Titus in the back? I mean, I guess you said you hadn't spoken to him, but you didn't say a word to him. I find it hard to believe.
Oh, I said something to him afterwards. Right then and there, I said, "Are you here for me? Are you trying to get me? I'm not going to prison. I didn't do anything wrong."
So this is what you're saying to him, to be clear, right at the moment when it appears you confront him right on the stage when he grabs your arm. You appear to get in his face, and people thought you were just, maybe returning the favor with a little playful jostling, but you were giving him an earful, it sounds like.
I was petrified. I was horrified. I thought I was done. I thought, Titus O'Neil. I said I knew it. I said I knew he was the one. He's come to get me now. He spent all this time in developmental, in down in Florida, and he comes up to the main roster, and then he grabs me. What else am I to think but fuck? Titus O'Neil is the inside guy for the FBI in my own company. They're going to try to put me back in prison for all the shit that I didn't do. I mean, is it illegal to snort cocaine off your own desk in the privacy of your own fucking office? Is it illegal to inject your arm with your own personal brand of steroids in the privacy of your own home? Fuck.
Okay, Vince. All right. One more time. Did you have any actual evidence that Titus O'Neil was involved with the FBI at all? You made it
Did
sound
the
earlier in
FBI
our conversation that you had reason to believe. What reason was that beyond
Did the
your
FBI have evidence on me? Ever? No. I don't need evidence. I need gut instinct. That's what gets me by. Having my edge. My attitude.
Well, 90-day suspension. Wasn't that a little stiff?
I don't think it was stiff enough. He needed at least a 150-day suspension.
Hmm.
You're asking me.
Why 90 days then?
Fucking Patterson. Fucker thinks he knows shit. Thinks he's a more rational person than I am. He said, "Oh, Vince, maybe you should, the 150 days seems like it might be a little tough, boss." I said, "Fuck you, asshole. Don't tell me how to run my business, you fucking oaf." Oh, come on, Both. Come on, Both. Just fucking gave him 90 days to get him off my ass.
Well, this sort of begs the question, doesn't it? Why did the company then reduce his suspension to 60 days after the social media outcry?
Well, we listened to our fans, and the fans demanded something. So I gave in to show my goodwill to the people who come to see us. But I promise you this. I guarantee it. There's that word again. I'm keeping my eye on Titus O'Neil. Yeah. I'm keeping my eye on that bastard. Because I know what he's up to. I know the secrets that he is trying to possess. It's not going to happen. I own my own secrets. Not him. Not the FBI.
Well, that's interesting. You talk about...
Oh, it is, huh? That's great.
Well, you talk
Glad
about...
I can interest you. Your fucking bloated program.
Right. Bloated. Okay, you bloated. We're talking about bloated a little later. Now, okay, it's interesting you say that you dropped the suspension of 60 days because you listened to your fans, yet just earlier in talking about Daniel Bryan, the point was that you expressly did not want to listen to your fans because they were putting him in a main event position, they were responding to him as a main eventer, and it wasn't what you wanted. So how do you square those two things, Vince? They seem in contradiction.
Titus O'Neil is not even close to a main eventer. He can't draw. He won't even try to draw. See, Daniel Bryan was trying to draw. He may have found himself a little niche in the fan base. I wasn't going to let that happen because I didn't make Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan made himself over the fucking those smaller fucking companies, working out in Japan, working in that fucking that ring of code or something, whatever the fuck it's called. No. I make you. You don't make yourself. That's wrestling. I know what succeeds. Not you.
So it comes back to the fact that Titus wasn't a main eventer.
That's right. His position in my company does not threaten me. What he does outside of my company, that may threaten me.
The New York Post did a story shortly after the suspension was handed down. They took a series of tweets that you had received and the WWE had received on Twitter, implying that there perhaps was a racial animus here. That if, say, John Cena or a white headlining wrestler had grabbed your arm on that stage, that there wouldn't be nearly as harsh a punishment, if any punishment at all. And the story sort of culled together several tweets making that point to make it seem as if it was, sort of a groundswell. Simply, Vince, if John Cena or a white wrestler grabbed your arm, would you have suspended him?
Now, John Cena is a different case. I hold John Cena on a high level because he is a man who draws. You understand? He's on the level of my own son, my flesh and blood, Triple H. You understand that? Now, I know John Cena, if he grabbed my arm, I know for a fact that it would have been as you put it, a playful thing. Because I created John Cena. You see, Titus O'Neil, he hasn't been around long enough for me to truly understand what his true intentions are. In fact, he came, don't you find it a little bit odd that a man at whatever he is, 38, 39 years old, is suddenly becoming a wrestler? And what did he do before he came to my company?
He was a college football player, wasn't he? A pretty good one.
Oh, was he in college until he was 35? Is that what you're telling me?
It sounds like something you should ask him, Vince, to echo your words.
I don't need to ask him anything. I know his answers. I know that the federal government is just waiting to crack down upon me. Those fucking liberals and those fucking conservatives all can eat my ass. I will prove, and you will all see, Titus O'Neil is a federal agent who was commissioned to try to take me down for things that I didn't do.
If you're so sure of this, Vince, why on earth would you let him back into your company, as you implied earlier you planned to do?
What do they say? Keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. Why do you think I keep doing interviews with you? Nasal, I keep you very close for very good reason.
Now, back to the question that you managed to dodge. If a white wrestler had grabbed you on the stage, would he have been suspended?
Depends on what his intentions were. But quite frankly, I don't trust any of my wrestlers. I don't trust any of the people that I hire. I keep a loaded gun in my pants pocket because I don't know who's going to try to turn on me at any given moment. I know what you're going to ask me. What if your own flesh and blood? What if your daughter reached behind and grabbed you like that?
Well, I wasn't going to ask that, but go ahead.
Would you shoot her in defense because she was trying to get to you? Yes, I would. Nobody's safe. Except for Triple H and John Cena.
Wow. Your company, in response to the aforementioned New York Post story, sent to the paper a text that Mr. Titus O'Neil had sent to the front office at WWE.
Yeah.
After all this happened, the text, according to the paper, says, "I feel like shit now, so if you have to let me go, I understand. Stupid mistake." First of all, what did you think of that text?
Why would I let him go? Why would I let him go when I have him right in my grasp to manipulate, to control, to maybe just change his mindset and throw him back to the FBI? I'm no dummy. Nasal gas.
So I get this straight. You feel like letting him go would be somehow relinquishing some degree of control over his life and his destiny?
I'm not going to do what you expect me to do. I'm not going to sit here and answer your fucking questions. You keep trying to get me to say shit to make me out to be the bad guy. I'm trying to strive to survive. I didn't do anything wrong. Doesn't matter who he was. Doesn't matter who he is or what he did. He's wrong. And I'm not going to let you try to manipulate this interview that I granted you.
Okay. I don't want.
I'll fuck you up. I will fuck you up.
Vince, if this is going to continue, I might have to call this off and contact an attorney, because that almost crossed the line into a threat, and I'm concerned for my own safety now.
No. Look. I want to get something straight here. I never threatened you. I made a promise. I will fuck you up.
So, all right, let's try to get this back on the rails here.
Yeah.
Why did your company send Titus's text to the New York Post? What made you feel like you had the right to do that?
Why did I have the right to do that? Why did I feel like I had the right to do that?
Yeah, it was his personal text to the company. It's not, a matter of public record. I mean, he didn't, sort of turn over ownership of his own text messages to you. I mean, is it fair for your wrestlers to expect that anything they text to the front office could end up in the New York Post if it serves your company's purposes?
When it comes to things like this, yes, it becomes public record in our hands because we need to tell stories. So the thing is, yes, am I going through a personal dilemma right now? Am I going through a personal hardship? Yes. But I'm not afraid to creatively use this as an outlet to push a storyline. So yes, I do believe that his stuff is public record, because maybe I'll use this as a storyline. Maybe someday the feds will be going after Triple H on TV. Maybe I'll use Titus O'Neil in that character. Who knows? Maybe that text was a storyline. Maybe I'm pushing an angle. I can't let you in on kayfabe.
So this could be a work?
Not saying it is, not saying it isn't.
Well, saying it's not. All right, let's allow that it's not for the sake of argument. Wouldn't it be unsettling to your employees to know that a text they send could end up in the New York Post? I ask you again.
It's in their contracts that I can share anything about their personal lives
Whoa.
for monetary gain.
Really?
Yes.
What's the clause? What do you mean? What does it give you the rights to?
Their life. As a WWE employee, your job is to try to reobtain your life from me. Not many have done that. Not successfully. I own you when you're under contract to me. I own you. People like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to buy back their lives. To a degree. Triple H owns his life. Titus O'Neil does not. We might have missed something with his prior employment, and that's our fault. But he does not own his life. He does not own what he does. I do.
A former champion of yours, Dave Batista, he's a friend of Titus O'Neil's.
Who?
Dave Batista.
Who's that?
He wrestled for you as Batista for years and years. Headline WrestleMania. Former champion. Yeah.
Don't know him.
Well, that might make the next question a little difficult to answer, but not impossible.
Yeah.
Dave Batista told a fan on Twitter after what happened to Titus that he told Titus to ask for his release from WWE, and included the hashtag in that tweet, #OneLife. What do you think of that, Vince? Dave Batista telling Titus to ask for his release? From the outside, to be clear, he's not with you right now. And he's a movie star.
I'd hesitate to use that term. You think people are flocking to the movies to see Dave Bautista?
Well, he did quite well in Guardians of the Galaxy, and it opened a lot of doors, a lot of opportunities.
He didn't draw shit.
Movie did quite well.
He couldn't draw, not because of David Bautista. He couldn't draw flies to a corpse. What do you want to know?
I mean, What do you think about him basically telling Titus and sharing the fact that he told Titus on Twitter that he should ask for his release from the company after what happened to him?
He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I don't give a shit about Batista. He's a fucking piece of shit. I bring him back to my company a couple years back, and he let the fans hijack the damn storyline. Kind of a fucking pro is he. Batista has no friends, and the fucker can't even spell anyway. See, #OneLife, he missed a few letters in there. There's a W and a D that's supposed to be in there. Owned life. Because I own their lives.
I guess, right, I understand. It's disturbing, but I understand. And it's hard to argue, which is even more disturbing. But
He's right.
We'll move on from Mr. Batista. Interestingly, there's been conspiracy theories that Titus O'Neil's suspension is actually a cover for what's known in your company as a wellness policy failure. When a talent, fails a drug test or a steroid test or something, folks noted that, 90 days would be the suspension period for a second wellness failure. Anything to that?
Nope. I mean, we don't even really do the fucking wellness things anyway. Never really did it. It's like we just literally drew somebody out of a hat just to at least make it seem like we're letting people believe that people are well. I mean, fucking hey, come on. I've been distributing steroids to my guys for fucking 35 years. You know how much money I make off of doing that? You know how much extra bank I make by giving my boys their candy, their little fucking allowance, their weekly allowance? I may not trust these fuckers, but they're my boys. And I'll give them a little extra something on the side for some money.
Well, I gotta say, wouldn't that really constitute a completely valid basis for the FBI to be after you?
I'm not doing it on the streets of Stamford, Connecticut. I'm not out there shelling out fucking syringes in Times Square. What I do and what I give out in the privacy of my own buildings and home is my business. Nobody else's.
Titus O'Neil had done a job or lost a match
Yeah.
to the Social Outcasts, kind of lower card comedy act earlier that night on Raw before this whole episode went down. Seemed like punishment of some sort, as wrestling fans know. Often wrestlers are made to lose matches in a kind of humiliating fashion, in a sort of emasculating fashion, as punishment for a breach backstage or behind the curtain, behind the camera. That, of course, also fed into the conspiracy theories that quickly enveloped this decision. Anything to that the job that he did to the Social Outcasts before this onstage confrontation even happened spoke to some kind of existing heat he may have had with you guys.
No, it's just our 50-50 booking policy. He wins one week, he loses the next week. That's just to keep the balance of the superstars.
Okay. Why do you have that policy? I never understood. Doesn't that just keep everybody kind of in the same pool and no one stands out? And isn't the whole idea of wrestling for someone to stand out?
No. The whole point is for me to make somebody stand out. My choice. This way we keep everybody at an even keel. And then when I decide, oh, look, such and such, he looks good. Let's have him win a little bit more. I control it.
Titus O'Neil was Father of the Year, okay? Big corporate ambassador for you guys. Doesn't that count for anything in terms of giving him the benefit of the doubt here?
No. I bought him that title. I shelled out over $3 million to get him declared Father of the Year. He's not even a fucking father.
Excuse me?
He doesn't have fucking kids, Those are actors I fucking hired to play kids, and some hoe that I fucked on the sly there to be his wife. He's not fucking father. I mean, unless that is his wife and I fucked her, and then shit, well, go me.
Wrapping this up, Vince.
Yeah, finally.
Incredibly disturbing conversation
so much
today.
I'm just here telling you the truth. That my company has been infiltrated by the federal government.
It just doesn't sound like the truth, Vince. It sounds like a paranoia that has really put this poor guy on ice for no reason.
Fucking reporter, said by a goddamn reporter who spreads lies and spreads fear. Like we're supposed to trust you, like you're an honest man.
I'm just here asking questions. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who gave you those questions, huh?
Well.
Yeah.
All right. This is getting, tedious. Last question for you, Mr. McMahon. What is Titus O'Neil's future with your company?
I don't believe that's any of your business. Whether or not he goes to the lower depths of Titan Towers and gets tortured into releasing his true identity, his true employer, is none of your business. But if you must know, yes, I do intend to torture him until he reveals the true secrets. It may last 60 days. It may last 90 days. It may last a whole year. But if I have to keep him down in the bowels of Titan Towers until he gives me what I want to hear, I will get it from him. And then I will present him to the public as what the federal government is trying to do to me and the world.